Hello dear students, welcome to your chemistry class. Hope all are fine and doing great. And of course revising your earlier topics also. So let us study together further. And last time we were discussing about the formation and representation of a molecule of an element. Today we will study about a molecule of a compound. So I guess this is your book page 6, second column and second last paragraph. Let us see how a molecule of a compound is represented by a formula. Two atoms of hydrogen combined with one atom of oxygen to form a molecule of water. So the formula of water is H2O. And a new example has come here. Underline ammonia molecule. Its formula is NH3. So here we are having one atom of N and how many atoms of hydrogen? 3. Now suppose I write down two atoms of N here like N2 and three atoms of hydrogen H3. So you think that N2H3 is going to form a ammonia molecule? No, it's not, because we know one of the important characteristics of a compound is that the atoms, they are in the fixed ratio. Fine. So in the last paragraph, remember that if the sample of an element or a compound is pure, generally they are pure, the formula of its molecule does not change. This means that the numbers of the combining atoms are fixed. So this we must know and underline it. That is how we get the proper, molecules of, like different elements. And on the next page, in the figure 1.12, they have very beautifully shown and represented in the different colors. First they have shown you the atoms of hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. Then they are showing the formation of the molecule of an element, like the two atoms of hydrogen, then two of nitrogen, oxygen, right? If I make another circle for oxygen, then it's going to make what? Ozone molecule, right? Then there is a representation of molecules of a compound. So it is H2O, then nitrogen dioxide, so 1N and 2O, then carbon dioxide, and the next one, last one is ammonia that we have discussed. So it's clearly showing the concept of formation of, molecules. Fine. The last topic, but quite important and interesting also, that what holds together atoms and molecules. So what exactly, what is there between, like some binding is there or some joining? What is there that the two atoms are joined or combined together? So let's study and find out. There are forces of attraction that hold together the atoms in a molecule and the molecules in a matter. Fine. Then this is a definition also and information. So please tick this pink box definition and underline also. The force that holds any two atoms in a molecule together is called a chemical bond. Fine. You have already learned that molecules are held together in matter by intermolecular force or cohesion or cohesive force. This we did, we are doing in the whole chapter. In the beginning we learned about intermolecular force of attraction, right, or cohesion. Now we have come across chemical bond, the force between the two atoms that forms a molecule. One should remember that a chemical bond is much stronger than an intermolecular force. Why? Because anything which is present in its purest form, its subtle, its basic form is very, very powerful. So atom is the most purest and the subtle part of, matter. So like that is why the chemical bond is more stronger than intermolecular force. So the atoms are held together in a molecule far more strongly than the molecules in matter. Thus, it is much more difficult to separate the atoms of a molecule than to separate the molecules of matter. Fine. So this completes our first chapter, and we have underlined and discussed the definitions, examples also, and a few concepts we have gone through. And then there are points to remember, the revision points. They are given, and they are just giving a very profound summary of the whole chapter. And there are approximately 16 to 17 are there in number. Please kindly number them, and because these points are going to help you to mark your short question answers as well. So let's just do that also right now. Like the first question is, what is matter? Fine. So I think the first point, uh, on the points to remember, revision points, first point gives you the answer. You have to give 3 examples of the things made of matter. Anything you can write, a notebook, your pen, table, chair, whatever you feel, easy to write. Then second question is, what do you mean by intermolecular force? I think revision point 6 is your answer for this question. Then the next question, I think you can write it yourself. You have to write it yourself, right? So you know the 3 states of matter and give 1 example of each. Then fourth is, do gases have a fixed volume as liquids do? Then give reason. So the first part answer we all know that no, gases do not have a fixed volume as liquids do, because for that please come to page 3. Page 3 you can come, and here second column and first paragraph. Then after because you can write like the third line, from third line, because the intermolecular force is so weak that the molecules are free to move, right? In a gas you can write like because in a gas the intermolecular force is so weak that the molecules are free to move, right? Full stop. So this is done with your fourth question also. The next one is, what is interconversion of states? And I think that is your revision point 9. Then question number 6 is their sublimation. So that is, I guess, page number 5, last paragraph, and the first 2 lines gives you the definition of sublimation. And they're asking about any 2 substances that sublimes, sublimates. You have to write the name. Total 4 are given. If you write even 4, it is quite easy, that you must be knowing that 2 are getting sublimed at room temperature and 2 are, when you heat, right? So you can write any 2 or the 4 examples, whatever is convenient to you. Then what is an element? That is your revision point 10. And examples, they're asking about 3 examples. So you can give hydrogen, symbol is capital H, then oxygen, then nitrogen. Next question is, what is a compound? Give 2 example. I think on the last topic, the representation of the molecules, they have given 4 examples, right? So you can take I guess like ammonia or water or carbon dioxide. Then next is, what are atoms and molecules? So on page 6, under the heading of atoms and molecules, the definitions are given in the pink boxes. So I guess it is easy to write from there. They're very written in a simplified language also. Then the last short question is that what forces hold atoms in a molecule and molecules in a matter? Just now we have discussed, and you can write it also from the revision point 16. That goes for the chemical bond, that the atoms, they're held together by a chemical bond. That is revision point 16. And for molecules in a matter, you can write the revision point 6. Fine. And in the next line, you can write it yourself, that we know it very clearly that chemical bond is much stronger than the intermolecular force or cohesion, right? So this is done with your short question answers. So now let us discuss objective questions, and I guess they are given on page number 9. So the first is, choose the correct option. So the first one is that ice melts at 0 degree Celsius, water freezes at 0 degree Celsius, A part. Then mercury melts at, they're given minus 39, their melting and the boiling point is given, but asking like ordinarily it will exist in liquid state. Fine. So mercury ordinarily exists as a liquid. Then question number 3, element is C, oxygen, because other 2 are compounds. Then question number 4, carbon dioxide, A is right. And question number 5, your first sulfur dioxide is your answer. Now if I ask you why it can be split into simpler substances, your reason should come that it is a compound made up of sulfur and oxygen, so it can be split into simpler substances. Then comes the filling the blanks, and they have given you helping words also. I think the terms are given in the brackets. The space anything occupies is called volume. The second one is mass. Third is 3. The next is freezing. The next one is an element. Then sixth is a compound. Seventh is the same kind, right? And the eighth one is a compound is made up of atoms of 2 or more kinds. Then next comes the true or false statement. The first one is matter is made up of very small particles called atoms which are held together by intermolecular force. So we are going to make it false because matter is made up of very small particles called molecules which are held together by intermolecular force. Second one is the greater the intermolecular space, the greater the cohesion. It is false because if intermolecular space is greater, then cohesion will be weaker, right? Then the melting point of ice is the same as the freezing point of water. True. The atoms are held together in a molecule by a force called chemical bond. True. And the chemical bonds are stronger than cohesive forces. Very much true. Fine. So this much we have done, students, till here, and you also go through so that your exercises are also clear to you. Fine.